Hello my dear friends, hope all of you are doing well. So in my last video I brought the concept of the Biot-Savart's law and we saw that the magnitude of the magnetic field produced due to a current carrying wire, it depends on the several factors. So the magnetic field depends on the magnitude of the current, the angle between the small elementary length dl and the line joining the point where we are going to determine the magnetic field. It also inversely proportional to 1 r square. We have also calculated the magnetic field for a long infinite current carrying wire using the Biot-Savart's law. So today I will start with the idea of the magnetic field on the axis that is generated when we are going to consider one circular loop carrying a current I. The circular may be one single round or maybe have several rounds of the wire. So let's start. So this is the our topic of the first topic. So the magnetic field on the axis of a circular current loop. So you can see from this figure, this is the one circular loop and the loop is carrying a current I. You can see this is the direction of the current and the radius of the loop is the R. This is the capital R is the radius of the loop, and we can see that the loop is in the YZ plane. So this is the three perpendicular axis X, this is Y and this is the Z axis. So the loop is in the YZ plane and the X axis is passing through the perpendicularly to the loop. So the center of the loop is capital O and we are trying to find the magnetic field at any point on the axis of the loop, that is along the x-axis. So we are trying to find the magnetic field at any point. Suppose at the point P we are trying to calculate the magnetic field due to this circular loop which is carrying a current I. So now as the loop is circular, the distance of P from any point on the circumference of the loop is the same. So because as the loop is in the YZ plane and the loop is circular, so any point that lies on the circumference of the loop has the same distance from the P. So that is the R, and where R is equal to under root of x square plus r square. So now we consider two small elementary length dl just opposite to the diameter of the loop. We can consider this element dl and here just opposite to the diameter of the loop. So we assume and that the current I is steady. So we are taking that the current I is steady and the calculation is done in the free space. So we are doing the calculation in the free space. Now we can consider for such small element dl and the current is passing through the element. So for this small element dl we can calculate the magnetic field at the point P, and that is using the Biot-Savart's law. So the magnitude of the magnetic field dB mod of dB is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi, where mu 0 is the permeability of the free space, divided by 4 pi times I magnitude of dl cross r vector divided by r cube, where r square is equal to x square plus r square. I have written already. So now we can see that for any element dl and the r vector, so the angle between them dl and the r vector is every time it is 90 degree. So magnitude of dl cross r, what it will be, magnitude of dl, magnitude of r and the sine 90 degrees, so it becomes r dl. So the magnitude of dB we can write it like mu 0 by 4 pi I dl r divided by r cube, and it becomes mu 0 by 4 pi I dl divided by r square. So now you can see that the direction of the dB is perpendicular to both dl and the r vector. So you can see this is the direction of the dB, that is both perpendicular to dl and the r vector. The vector dB has one component along the x-axis, so it has one component along the x-axis and another one is perpendicular. So this is the perpendicular component and this is along the x-axis. So now similarly element dl, so we can consider, first we have considered this element. Now if I consider the just diametrically opposite element dl here, so for this also, for this elementary length dl, the magnetic field will be directed in this direction. You can see here. Now it has also two components, one is the x component, another one is the perpendicular component. So both for this elementary length dl, the perpendicular component is acting along upward direction, and for this elementary length dl, the perpendicular component is acting in the downward direction. So these two will cancel, but the x component will add up. Now if I consider like several such dl elements, which are a pair of the dl elements which are just opposite and diametrically opposite for the loop, so you can see just the perpendicular component get cancelled, but the x components will add up. Now we can write that the x component, so for two diametrically opposite point on the loop, only the x component survives. So again the x component of the dB, that means mod of dB times cosine theta. From figure you can see from this figure. So if this angle is theta, so this means dB cosine theta. So the x component is the mod of dB cosine theta. So now, so I write it like dBx is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi I dl divided by r square plus x square from here times cosine theta has a value of capital R divided by r square plus x square whole to the power half. How it comes, you can see from this figure, if this is theta, so this is 90 degree minus theta. So again, this angle of angle between dB and the r vector is 90 degree, so it obviously becomes theta. So this is 90 degree minus theta, and if this is theta, it means this is theta. So from this triangle of AOP, you can see this cosine theta is equal to r over this small r, so it means cosine theta is equal to capital R over r square plus x square whole to the power half. So now you can, if I just calculate, so it becomes mu 0 by 4 pi I dl capital R divided by r square plus x square whole to the power 3 by 2. Now if I integrate over this dl over the loop, you can see, so it gives 2 pi capital R. This is the circumference of the loop or the perimeter, you can say. So you can see that the magnitude at the point P, so the magnetic field magnitude at the point P, what it will be, B vector is equal to Bx I cap, so it becomes mu 0 by 4 pi I r capital R divided by r square plus x square whole to the power 3 by 2 times 2 pi r. So after calculating, it becomes B vector, the magnitude of the magnetic field at the point P, half mu 0 I r square divided by r square plus x square whole to the power 3 by 2. Now if I have just I have mentioned before, the loop may have one single turn or may have several turns. So for n number of turns in the loop, you can see that the magnitude, that the B vector will be directed similarly along x-axis, so Bx I cap, so it becomes half mu 0. So if I need to multiply it by the number of turns, so it becomes half mu 0 n I r square divided by r square plus x square whole to the power 3 by 2. Now in a special case, in the center of the loop, you can consider where the x tends to 0. So it is, I mean, in the center of the circular current carrying loop. So the magnitude of the magnetic field will be B vector is equal to Bx I cap is equal to mu 0 ni by 2r times I cap. And the direction of the magnetic field will be, can be given by the right hand thumb rule, and it points towards the x-axis. So what is this right hand thumb rule? So it is stated like, if we curl the palm of a right hand, you can see from this figure, if I curl the palm of a right hand around the circular wire with the fingers pointing in the direction of the current, you can see this is the fingers pointing in the direction of the current. The right hand thumb points in the direction of the magnetic field. So this is the direction of the current, is a so I mean this is the direction of this current, and the direction of the curled fingers will make the direction of the magnetic field. So now we will discuss on the Ampere-Circuital law. This law is used to calculate the magnetic field due to a current distribution. Yes, we can also get the same thing using the Biot-Savart's law, but we use the Ampere-Circuital law for the case of a high symmetry. So now let's discuss about this law. So this is the Ampere-Circuital law. So you can see from this figure, the law states that the line integral of the magnetic field forming a closed loop around the current carrying wires in the plane normal to the current is equal to the mu 0 times the net current passing through the loop. So you can see there is a loop C, and 5 different current carrying wires is penetrating the loop, I mean the plane of the loop. So I1, I2 and I5, I1, I2 and I4 are going outward, and I3 or I5 are going the inward direction of the current. So from the figure we can see that C is a closed loop, and the 5 current carrying wires passing through the plane of the loop, I mean the currents are enclosed by the loop. You can see the currents are enclosed by the loop. Some of the currents are inward and some are the outward direction, in the outward direction. From the figure, let due to all such currents, I mean for all such currents, the magnetic field at any point P, you can see the point P here is in this direction. So you can see this is the direction of the magnetic field due to all such currents, and this is making an angle theta with the small elementary length of dl. So we can write the closed line integral of B dot dl is equal to mu 0 times the I enclosed. So which is the I enclosed here from this figure? This is the I1 plus I2 plus I4, because I1, I2 and I4 all are the outward current, and I3 and I5 are the inward current. So this will add up according to their sign. And where C is called the Amperian loop, you can see this closed loop which encloses all these currents is called the Amperian loop. So, and this is the mu 0 is the permeability of the free space. So closed line integral B dot dl is equal to mu 0 I enclosed. It means mu 0 times I1 plus I2 minus I3 plus I4 minus of I5. So the Ampere's law may be derived from the Biot-Savart's law, and the Biot-Savart's law may also be derived from the Ampere-Circuital law. Ampere's law is based on the mathematical results. You can see the Ampere's law is based on the mathematical results, whereas the Biot-Savart's law is based on the experimental results. So now we will see some application of the Ampere-Circuital law. So the application of the ACL, the Ampere-Circuital law. So this is the magnetic induction due to a long current carrying wire. What I have already calculated using the Biot-Savart's law. Now we will see if we will get the same result using this Ampere-Circuital law. So you can see this is the AB is a long infinite current carrying wire, and it is carrying a current of I. So you want to find the magnetic field at any point which is at a distance of r away. You can see which is at a distance of r away from this wire. It is assumed that the radius of the wire is very negligible with respect to r. So I assume that the AB, which is carrying a current of I, has the radius which is very negligible with respect to r, the distance at which we are going to calculate the magnetic field. So one imaginary circular loop is drawn, which is the Ampere's loop, having the radius of r. So taking r as a radius, we just draw one imaginary circular loop, and the wire is passing through the plane of the imaginary loop. So the wire is passing through the plane of the imaginary loop, and the imaginary loop is called the Ampere's loop. Now the magnetic field will be tangential at any point on the loop, and the angle between B and DL is the 0 degree. So we consider one circular loop. So as we have discussed already, that the magnetic field will be tangential due to a long infinite current carrying wire. So the angle between small elementary length DL and the magnetic field will be every time 0 degree. So we can see, and also we can see that along the tangential component the magnetic field is uniform. So from the Ampere-Circuital law we can write it like closed line integral of B dot DL is equal to mu 0 I enclosed. Here I enclosed is equal to one single current carrying wire that is carrying the current of I, so it means mu 0 I. So closed line integral of B dot DL, as the angle between B and DL is 0 degree, so it means B DL, so is equal to mu 0 I. So B DL means, as the B is uniform, so B can be taken as outside. So and the closed line integral of DL means this is the circumference of the imaginary loop, that is Ampere's loop, that is 2 pi r. It has the radius, the loop has the radius of r, so its circumference is 2 pi r. So capital B times 2 pi r is equal to mu 0 I. So B becomes mu 0 I divided by 2 pi r. So we can see that this is the same result for an infinite current carrying wire, where previously we have used the Biot-Savart's law. So you can see the Biot-Savart's law and the Ampere-Circuital law give the same results. So my friends, I am concluding my today's discussion here. If you are new in this channel, please do like, share and subscribe our channel, and make your valuable comments in the comment section of this video. Stay tuned and keep supporting Invisible Threads. Thank you.